It's time to clear up the confusion because some people do really, really well on carnivore and some don't. Why is that? Welcome everyone to my humble life as I live in a camper and I'm building a house all by my lonesome. Let's dive right into it, which is why do some people do so well on these carnivore diets or low carb diets and some people don't. And when I look at the comment section of my videos, I always am like, what is wrong with people? I don't understand. So I want to break it down. For those who are not doing well, who become confused on why people do so well, let's break down how they do so well. So I was watching a carnivore guru talk about Michaela Peterson and how she's so amazing, which she's hit some stumbling blocks in her carnivore reality. But the truth be told, that when you cut out your carbs, you now have left yourself for a problem called dehydration. And there's two problems. There's dehydration, and of course there is your glycogen storages have been depleted. Now, that subject alone, if people try to debate me on my channel, they'll say, I do the carnivore diet. I've done it a year. I'm one of the ones that's doing amazing. But they don't say how they're doing amazing. They don't break anything down. They don't talk about if their blood sugar's stable. They don't, you'll hear things like, it saved my life. That's pretty intoxicating, right? Somebody says that a diet saved their life, and here you are, struggling with your carnivore, struggling with chronic dehydration, struggling with high B12, struggling with low energy or constipation or loose stool or gallbladder issues or your hair falling out. So why is it that these people are doing so well? Well, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. A lot of people just don't know. They're not connected to their body. So they are experiencing joint pain or skin issues or chronic fatigue, blood sugar dysregulation, eating carbs, right? Because GI issues and leaky gut, histamine intolerance, and they might present food in their stool when they eat any plants. So doing a carnivore diet is sort of the ultimate level of a GAPS diet, because now you've taken out all of the potentials that could be inflammatory. But what these gurus don't tell you is that if you develop a histamine response to dry aged meats, for example, okay, maybe for the short term you get your blood sugar down, maybe for the short term your gut, you're not as bloated anymore, and you actually feel better and sleep better. But what about over time? Because a lot of people, they don't give things time. I didn't present any problems for 5 years, nothing. And then when it came, you could actually see it on my skin. Now, I developed melasma, I don't know, maybe 10 years after I started doing keto. 10? I didn't present electrolyte issues until the 5th year. So if you would have caught me at year 5, I would have been like, I'm a rock star. In fact, I did videos through those years, and I just couldn't quite understand how my energy levels were amazing, how my skin texture in the fat in the dermis layers was amazing, how I was staying lean and had great mental cognition, of course, energy. But there's other things, right, that I didn't talk about. I didn't talk about my ribs starting to lock up, specifically the ribs. I was so potassium deficient. I mean, it's unreal. My ribs were locking up. I started to develop nausea. Now, mind you, this is 10 years later. But I didn't present like the muscle cramps and the ribs locking up. That was the first thing that I noticed. Okay. I didn't notice low blood pressure until the 13th or 14th year. So my blood pressure started running low. It's like the more I did a keto diet and did not really balance everything, I am flubbing these words because your girl is turd. I'm not even tired. I'm beyond that. Yes. But that's a whole nother thing that you guys are going to be able to see, because it's been interesting the last couple days, and I will show you soon. But I didn't notice things for years down the road in like specific milestone markers. So I didn't develop the nausea until I spoke in Australia, and then I went to Bali. And it was so hot, and I was sweating my bullocks off. And I'm coming from a very dry climate in California, and then I'm going to a very humid climate. And your body, like, the blood has to either thicken or unthicken. I gotta look up which one. I have to remember. But your blood has to adjust to the humidity. And I was sweating, and I started feeling dizzy, vertigo, nausea, heart palpy when I went to speak in Australia and then off to Bali. I was perclumped because I hadn't felt those symptoms at that level just piling on me. Then in my 11th year, I started to develop hyperpigmentation on my skin. And I was like, what? And I didn't even know what it was. Started off with one dark spot on my forehead, and then just moved all the way down my face, down my neck. And someone said in a video, right, here I am, the health expert, you've got melasma. And I was like, I literally said, no, I don't. And then I was like, what's melasma? You can't make this stuff up. Do you see how easy it is to hide stuff? You see how easy it is for your brain subconsciously to cherry pick and make things amazing. Because I've always said I'm not going off this diet, and I have never gone off the diet, but not telling people that I had moments of feeling pretty bad until I was past it and started to understand. The problem was I started to develop dehydration. Didn't recognize it because I wasn't thirsty, but my blood pressure was running low, and that didn't happen for freaking years. And then when things really started to fall apart, it was like a tsunami I couldn't stop. And then I had to start paying more attention to my magnesium, my potassium, my sodium, my water intake, because that was my biggest issue, was the electrolytes. Now, some people, it's blood sugar. Blood sugar was not my issue. But some people will do a carnivore diet for a while, and all of a sudden, boom, they don't have the energy. Or their adrenal glands take over. Because a lot of people will, if you're not eating carbs, that like massive swing, right? Insulin drop and glucagon having a difficulty to go back up. When that goes away, they're like, oh my God, I feel so much better. But they don't actually have the power to really do the shite that I do in a 24-hour day. Because when people come to my ranch, they're like, girl, stop. Because I'm a beast. I'm a freaking beast. I get up and I take care of the animals, and I hit the gym, and I am like lifting heavy things and doing everything really exhausting and heavy on my own. But I don't blow out my adrenals and my thyroid and my reproductive hormones. Like, I'm postmenopause. I'm staying lean. For those who notice right away that you're constipated, diarrhea, now you can't sleep, you haven't pooped for 5 days, or your hair starts falling out, or you find yourself being more tired, or you're developing hemorrhoids, or you have severe hypoglycemia, the people who say that they're amazing and that carnivore saved their life, these are very, very like zealot, like I'm ignoring what doesn't feel well, and I know this because I did. So my like rib locking and my electrolyte issues probably were coming on before, but I didn't notice it because I was too much in a high being in ketosis, right? I'm like sort of like not paying attention, and I'm coaching ketogenic diets. People do, let's say if you've got fibromyalgia, and in the beginning your symptoms go down, but the longer you do carnivore without stabilizing your blood sugar, because your blood sugar is everything, and a lot of gurus just leave that out. Oh, Michaela Peter's doing amazing. If I hung out with her for a week, I would find every little thing that she may not be recognizing or not talking about, because it's the risk benefit ratio. She might feel that she's in a more of a benefit mode than any sort of risk that she might be having any complications. But because I've done this for so long, you will hit complications. Do not listen to anyone who says, oh, it's so amazing, because that's all they have. You know, everything's fixed and I'm amazing. And that confuses the people where they're like, well, it's not working for me. Some people do not feel the onset of things right away. They just don't. And some people just don't tell you the truth. And that's a big, huge problem in this industry, is that people want to push a diet so much that they're just sort of leaving out this little detail and leaving out that detail. Look how long that Paul Saladino pushed his books and pushed carnivore and the carnivore code and all this kind of stuff when the guy was suffering with chronic dehydration and low energy. How long did Frank Tufano push carnivore before he started admitting that his iron levels were too high and he developed hemochromatosis? I mean, he was doing live streams and videos, and like he made a meat company, and then here he was suffering from the carnivore diet. So if you found one of these people's videos when they're all like leaving out stuff and just saying how amazing it is, you'd be like, why aren't I doing amazing? So the reason why you're confused is because you're not being told the whole truth. And you're not. And I know you're not. I know you're not. And unfortunately, don't buy what people are selling. Always be hesitant. Me, anyone. I don't even care if people are hesitant with me. Good. Challenge me. Anyone who says that anything is perfect is lying, especially for somebody's body whose energy system is used to glucose. And then you're cutting out your stored glycogen within the muscle, and you're not in ketosis, but some of your inflammatory markers are down because you cut out the protein, but now you're starting to develop chronic dehydration, where your blood sugar starts swinging. But it's not that bad because my hair's not falling out yet, or haven't developed the melasma yet. And so they just keep saying it's the best thing ever. So if anybody challenges me, do a live stream with me and let's talk for real, because you may not be recognizing the problems that I do recognize, because I've just done this shite for so long. So for those who are suffering and listening to people say how much 60 pounds they lost and how everything's great, don't believe them, because sometimes, and part of their journey, there were struggles and they just don't talk about it. Nothing in life is easy. So if someone's making any diet lifestyle look easy, they're not being honest. You either tell the whole truth or you're not telling the truth at all. Partial truths aren't going to help people who are learning from you. Tell the whole truth. Say the good days, say the bad days, and say the ugly days, so your audience gets the whole picture. And for those who are talking about friends and cousins and neighbors and workmates who did the diet and they lost 60 pounds and they're amazing, y'all don't know about hypoglycemia. You don't know about gluconeogenesis. You don't know about T3 dropping. You don't know about your sex hormones dropping or high uric acid levels, and they don't either. If you guys want to learn more, go to stephanieperson.com. If you feel that you need help, you can book a consultation. I also run a course where I cover 3 diets, because not all of you can do carnivore. Or you can use carnivore for the short term to get your inflammation down, and before you start having the rebound of electrolytes and diamine oxidase, because that's another one, and that's a whole nother video. about how people's guts get worse over time on carnivore. They rebound. Give it time. You can, if you have confidence in me, you can go to stephanieperson.com. Question everybody. Question me. Question everything. Also, you can find me at Instagram at Stephanie Ketogenic. Stephanie the Business Person on my Facebook fan page. I am now back on working on the 30-day challenge, but I've gone through some struggles here by myself. But I'm getting through it. And I'll announce things when they're close to being done. And I'm out. Peace.